We were in 2 miles all last season. What trip to really run him on? Joe thinks he's 2 miler, but there's in the history of racing, there's not many champion bumper horses end up being 2 mile chasers. He's got so much pace. We are going to step him up. You say last year when Bobsworth, we were giving it £7, he only just nabbed us on the line. Then Sprinter Zachary, well, we actually got to his tail on the last bend, and he went away again. We beat the rest of them there that day by 20 lengths. So he's a seriously good horse. We will step him up 3 miles. It may not be to the King George, but that's our aim.
What about ground for him, Colin? He's a horse who's done a lot of his winning on good to soft and good ground, but would he mind a bit of cut?
Yeah, I don't think he minds it at all. We will be careful about running him over 3 miles in heavy ground, just in case he doesn't like it. What we don't want to do is bottom him out. But when he won his first race, I know it was only an ordinary bumper. It was heavy that day, and he floated through it. I wouldn't have any worries about starting off running him over on heavy ground. We'll see where we are then. I don't think that's a problem. He's been a real star. We always were going up the handicap. He's at 157 now, and we would have run him in the Gold Cup last year if he hadn't had to touch it. He just had a small minor injury, and he just seems to be able to carry weight. Does it? He always wins off. His wins come off a top weight. He's a great, massive, big horse, and he's a real. If we can get him out by Christmas, I don't think actually last year he had all the going he really deserved. He really wants it nearly bottomless, nearly off. He never really had that last year, and he could be a big player in some of those long distance handicaps.
Could he be a Grand National horse?
Well, he could, but his jumping has never been that brilliant. He's been missing out a few times, and Garth and Ambroon would take an awful lot of persuading to let him go in the Grand National. You would think he'd be made for it, but whether they ever let me, I don't know.
Here's the final fence. Good solid jump there from the leader. It is Golden Chieftain by 10 or 12 lengths now, and is extending all the way on the run in for home. Just has this loose horse to keep an eye on, but inside the final 150 yards, if anything, that loose horse might well help, because it'll just steer him home. Up towards the line they come. It is Golden Chieftain for Colin and Joe Tizzard.
Golden Chieftain, and he's another big horse as well.
Yeah, he won well at Worcester last week. You've just been missing a trick or two with him last year. Although he won 2, he was a 140 rated hurdler, most gorgeous horse you ever set your eyes on, and he just got it together last week. He could go to the Badger at Wincanton next, and he could end up being a Grand National horse. I think he stayed 2.5 at Worcester, seemed fine, but really he stays on over 3. He's 2.5 would be his minimum. Nice horse.
Another horse that I love, and I think he's possibly a little bit unlucky last week, Third Intention.
Well, yes, I thought it was absolutely brilliant start. We jumped the last fence at Cheltenham 3 lanes up, and thought he was going to come away and win by 5. We've seen it so many times, horses getting nabbed at that running. He was, in my mind, he was beaten by a hard fit horse. Was been racing all summer. Not a bad horse in that. The third horse was 19 lengths back third. It was a brilliant performance. We might not run him at Cheltenham again till the festival. There's plenty of good races at Newbury and flat tracks to see where we are. But for a horse what hasn't ever, none of his in his dam side have ever jumped a fence, and he is the best jumper of a hurdle, and he's brilliant over the fences at Cheltenham, other than getting in close to a couple. I think he's a lovely prospect.
He looks the type of horse that'll do better in a better race. The faster they go could bring out the best of him. Yeah,
could do, but we ran him in a lot of big handicaps last year, and he's 5th and 7th, and wasn't beaten by 5 or 6 lengths. And we never had too much joy in the big handicaps, really. He was but novice chasing, that's going to be his thing. Now we know he can jump, and we can have a good bit of fun with him this year.